There we go. All right, and they're off. Let's start with none other than the winner from today's early Title Tuesday. Hikaru Nakamura, he's got the white pieces. Now, the other thing about this is it'd be interesting to see, can Hikaru actually win 2 on the same day? I mean, winning back-to-back Title Tuesdays has already been an accomplishment. Like, we're running out of things on Title Tuesday to be impressed by, I feel like. You know, for a while it was, hey, who can get a perfect score? Someone's already done that. Then there was, you know, oh, who can win back-to-back? People have already done that. Now it's like, oh, who can win in the exact same day back-to-back? Okay, I think that's the challenge for Title Tuesday now. Let's see if Hikaru can do it day 1. Let's see if he can do it day 1 here. Alright, he's playing a FIDE Master. He's going for his sort of typical B3 system, but he's transformed it more into, you know, C4, D4 structure. A bit more of a Queen's Gambit kind of, almost like a Queen's Gambit kind of vibe to the position. If the knight was on D2, I'd say a little bit more like a Zouk retort setup for white, but there's a lot of Queen's Gambit positions that look like this for white Fianchettos, so solid. Not committing anything so far. What's up to the chat? BJH, Goblin, Bullet Mercenary, the Lab TFT. We got Eric in here, taking it easy. I guess he already put his shift in, right? That's when there's 2 Title Tuesdays. You get to enjoy one as from the spectator booth and sweat one out as a player. Hello to Moistad, Chicken Pants, Bunglet, Zankix. Got Olympiad, Tunda Mike. Shout out to the mods. All right, it's good. We got a good crowd here. So actually, something a little unorthodox for my eyes. Knight H4 and then E4. So Hikaru really forcing the center. But it's also this knight on B4. And what is this move? After we take, what's the idea? Just knight D7, I guess. Queen's hitting the knight, and knight wants to take on E5. It's a very high energy move here. Is he gonna play E6? I thought he might have considered E6 for a moment there, just to imbalance things, but it looks like he's gonna take it real chill. Hey, black's position, I really don't mind here. I think white's still probably preferred. And F4, you gotta play F4 here, yeah. F4 comes quick as a flash. Taking that runs into knight D5 on the spot. And bishop D4 check, I assume. The king wants to go to H1, but he decides on H2. Man, it's the bane of my existence as a chess player, choosing the wrong square for the king. I think some of us can relate. Because H2 is almost always the square you want to go to. It covers, you know, the weak G3 square, watches the H3 pawn. But the only downside is it is on a diagonal that can get attacked or checked from B8 to H2. So, man, choosing the wrong one always feels bad. E5 and knight E4 is another. I assume that's gonna happen, but he doesn't like something. Queen F5. There's this. No, he's setting up knight D5. E5 and knight E4 and knight F6 look good, but after king G7, you know, maybe there's not exactly a clear follow-up. This is just tactically sharp. Takes, bishop takes on D4, and I mean, good luck surviving that. He's up time here as well, which helps. Okay, yeah, I mean, you just have to take it. I was trying to think, maybe he was thinking about taking the bishop, taking back 2 pieces for a queen. Sometimes that can be fun in blitz, but I don't think it'd be fun against Hikaru. Something tells me. Queen D2, Queen H6 is on the cards, but this F5 move, I mean, this is just gonna hurt. I think black has to retreat, but I mean, I don't even know what to recommend here. Is Queen D2 happening? I don't think Hikaru is planning to do anything like this. I think I think he has eyes for mate. Maybe he's gonna take it. I mean, everything's winning here, but I like this approach because queen here threatens mate on h8, right? So I think you almost have to play this move. But then queen. Okay, well this is over. Queen f8 is normally the defense because it stops queen g7. But there's queen h8 here as well, so it's game over. But it was unstoppable because queen f4, queen h4, queen h8. Nothing black could do about that, even with a queen on f8. Let's take a look at some other games. Naroditsky is still going, and whoa, this looks like an interesting game. So white's got the 3 connected pass pawns. Black's got 2 connected pass pawns. Everybody has connected pass pawns. This is such a weird position. 2 bishops for black. Black has a piece for 3 pawns, and I'd like to think that Naroditsky has the edge here. Because what's going to happen, I assume, is, yeah, he's going to take this pawn. Black has a single pawn, but I think it's enough to win. So rook d1 surely has to be tried. And then if there, rook e2, there's bishop h5. g4 takes rook g2. Threatening rook d2. I would go for that as white. That would be my line. Try it. Time's ticking. Oh, sorry. I didn't even realize he's disconnected. I was like, dude, come up with the line, buddy. The poor guy disconnected. So, I mean, I think Naroditsky's good here, but the line I was looking at was rook d1. And okay, if the rook gets to go on d2, maybe there's some blockade. And if d2 happens, you know, maybe there's a king move. But I was looking at rook there. Black might think, oh, we have this. Bishop takes d1. And then maybe g4 is kind of like a weird move here. And then what white plays rook takes d2 next. Takes. And black only has a bishop. You need this pawn to win. So I was thinking that was kind of tricky there at the end. But oh well. A win for Naroditsky. Let's keep looking here. Okay, some of these games are ending. I'm at the point where a lot of them are kind of ending on the spot. Here we go. Jeffrey. I think this is... Oh, I was going to say, he's going for the win. Why is black not... Okay. I don't know about that decision. That looks wrong, but... rook takes a7. I don't know about this. Yeah, I mean, this is just done now. Rook can just sit back here, and the 2 pawns will beat the rook. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is over. So you could play pawn here. The other thing you could do is bring your king, but this is even nastier because you win the rook as well. Man, that was an impressive win. Pranav manages to get a win there. A lot of the games are ending exactly right now. Anthony with the black pieces. He might be winning this endgame. I think he is. Yeah, just bring the rook back. Yeah, you don't want any of that, but that looks like a really bad move. Unfortunate. Anthony Atanasov, Canadian FIDE master. And it is going to be a draw. I'm not sure that he actually could win that, but I feel like he just, like, this is just the Lucina, where you cut the king off, and then you just bring your king up. And I don't really see how you could stop this, you know, because I mean, I think this is just a winning endgame. This one, probably, maybe not a winning endgame, but the way it transformed, I think it was. In any case, let's take a look at the next round. That's round 1 in the books, just ended. I see Andrew Tang is here. Let's spectate his game. We got some afternoon coffee here. I'm so used to drinking coffee in Title Tuesday, but I think the afternoon coffee is very cultured. Andrew has been playing a lot recently. Let's see how he does here in this Title Tuesday. I didn't catch the entire early Title Tuesday, forgive me. It's quite early over here, but I wonder if Tang played that as well. I imagine, you know, the late one, it's always possible for the NA people to make, and the early one, I mean, if you're on Eastern time, it's, you know, 11 a.m. I think it's quite reasonable. So playing both of the Title Tuesdays for a lot of players, I think it's something that you'll see. So actually kind of a slow start here. Only 8 moves played. This bishop is dying to come out. If it could go to g5 or f4, be pretty happy. Especially g5, just putting pressure on that e-pawn. And I think Andrew is going to go for takes knight g5. Yeah, bishop takes d4 might get messy, but I assume takes knight g5 is the plan. I mean, white can even play it normally, like, I don't know, even c3 or like knight e4, but knight g5 looks testing. I imagine the move he's considering, though, is bishop takes d4 and bishop takes f2. Other than that, if that bothers him, then he'll maybe play even c3. Or like I was saying, knight e4. But the thing is, black, I don't know if black has very strong next moves either. So let's say black doesn't take, you know, just to show a few other ideas. You know, white sometimes has knight takes h7 as an idea with queen h5 and bishop g6, but in the current game, I mean, white's really just thinking about knight g5 e6. Oh, I see the prediction in chat. Does Hikaru win 2 Title Tuesdays today? What do you guys think? Yes and no. So no seems to be the favorite right now, but not by a lot. I wonder what the odds are just day to day of Hikaru just winning a Title Tuesday. Like, out of all the Title Tuesdays that have been played in general, how many has he won? I wonder if someone has that stat. Because I feel like Hikaru's probably operating at like 60% or something. Like, I don't know what the stats are, but I think they're pretty convincing. Okay, so this is classic. Like, man, I feel like I'm watching myself play Title Tuesday. Just so slow. The only difference is that Andrew is actually very strong as well as slow. And I'm just slow. But there are shades of myself here. Like, he's down to 30 seconds. His opponent was at almost 2.5 minutes in a 3-minute game. Of course, there's that +1 increment to help out, but you know, he's only asking for trouble here. Rook e4. Yeah, so after rook e6, knight c5 would win the rook anyway. So I think he's going here because he's saying, like, look, you take, queen takes, or maybe even bishop takes, the rook can't go anywhere, and he's going to be able to move the rook somewhere to f4 or g4 to save it. So, pretty nice move there. But this is what Tang does. He gets low on time, and, you know, he finds some fantastic moves. However, his opponent has a minute and a half and can be very tricky. Don't forget, his opponent's a GM here. I know there's a big rating disparity, but GM's a GM. Knight takes d4 going into e6 is nasty. Black should probably play bishop c8 immediately here without calculation. I mean, simply put, this knight attacks 3 things. You only have 1 move, so you can never prevent it altogether because the queen's protecting the square. So bishop c8, especially when someone has 18.5 seconds, you got to be playing bishop c8 now. I mean, I think he's disturbed by this. Yeah, okay, so this happens, but I mean, you just need to go. Gotta be like knight g4 and h6. Knight g4 covers the rook, h3, h6, and then you hit the bishop. And that's, you know, it's just that the longer you take, the more time Andrew has to think. Plays d5. D5. Interesting. Maybe go on h6 there, but I feel like, oh man, there's gonna be something nasty here. Yeah, knight e6 is already a game-winning threat. Yeah, it's not gonna go well, guys. Bishop takes f6 was also a game-winning threat. Ugh, okay, I think Tang has turned this one around completely. Yeah, this one is resigns. Wow, just shows how strong Andrew, and he's seeing everything here. There's no question he wins this game. That's over. That's the strat. Get low on time and then win. It's easy. Chess is so simple. Nepo, speaking of simple chess, is going to lose this game. Kind of bad timing by me showing up to watch that. What's going on here? We got Jobava with the black pieces. And why on earth did white allow this? This is GG. Queen c3. Flicky Fleazy says, raid me please. I just started. Okay, well, looks like we're wrapping up here, folks. It's a good couple rounds of Title Tuesday, but Flicky Fleazy is streaming, so yeah, we're just gonna end the whole thing. It's nice to be here. Let's check out Blue Wizard. That is Denis Boros, for those that don't know. Hungarian streamer. Streams over on the channel Chess Sweeps. If black gets this win, it's very impressive for sure. Okay. Giving up that pawn was a little suspicious. Not sure why that had to happen. I mean, this is nowhere near winning, but every move by white convinces me that there's a chance. Okay, yeah. Not quite. Not this time. In one of the last games of the round. Here we go. Here it is. It looks like it's going to be a win for white. Hello to the endgame magician. And I believe we're gonna see a conversion here. Checkmate in one. Yep, that'll work now or the many moves prior. There we go. That was the second round. So we are now on to round 3. And just looking at the matchups here. And I'm actually going to take a look at a GM on GM matchup here. Yospam, who is not just a mainstay in Title Tuesday, but near the top of the standings as well. I know he was top 5, minimum top 10, I believe maybe top 5 finish in the early edition of Title Tuesday. And Little Peasant, who's Alejandro Ramirez. A lot of you might recognize from his commentary, especially over at the St. Louis Chess Club. Did Hikaru not win? Well, Hikaru's on board 1, so he definitely won. The reason you don't see him on the leaderboard is due to tie breaks. So remember, there are 300 people in this tournament, and we're only in round 3. So there are a lot of people that have 2 out of 2, and if someone has a bit better tie breaks than the other, then they're going to be higher. So you get a lot of people tied for first place right now. So Hikaru's on 2 out of 2, but he has slightly worse tie breaks than most people. So that's why you don't see him up there on the standings. The tie breaks are rating based if you have the same tie breaks. So the first tie break is your score. So if you have 2 points and I have 1.5 points, you will be higher than me, obviously. If you have 2 points and I have 2 points, then it goes to the tie break. And the tie break is computer calculated and generated. It depends on the scores that the people that you played have in the event. So if they're doing better, you get a better tie break, because it basically means that you're playing people who are doing better in the tournament, so they're stronger. And then if those are tied, then it will default to rating and organize it like that. So the people you see in the standings right now have the same score, the same tie breaks, and that's why you see them sorted by rating. But Hikaru, for example, has the same score, but not the same tie breaks, slightly lower. So that's why he's not on the list. In the meantime, tiebreak shenanigans aside, although that's very important, that's how most top-level tournaments are decided. That's how people get their prize money. We have a French, where after queen e2 knight there, you see these constant issues like a3 doesn't quite defend this pawn chain as well as you might like. Knight takes b4, queen a1. So he's gonna go for this. Okay, this is gonna get sloppy. I think you have to take, I guess rook b1 could be considered, but no, you gotta grab that, yeah. So the main thing for white is black's king. Black actually might end up a pawn in this position, like grabbing this guy. But for white, I think there's tremendous compensation because the black king has no safe home. Stuck in the middle, long castle, it doesn't look too great. So I think that's the compensation here. I don't know which side you guys prefer in blitz, and probably just in general, I would probably say white myself. Just feels like it's one of those positions that's going to be so much easier to play with white. And I could be wrong. Could be wrong, but it's my instinct. And when I speak about, your preference, I'm definitely talking about like, let's assume that the position is relatively static. In the current position, unfortunately, I think that there might be just tactics. Because you can take this. Just take on e3. Just to show you guys. So knight f3, like this. Queen g4, like this. And unfortunately, you were going to lose material here. So he decided to give it up in a different way. But yeah, when I'm talking about which side do I prefer white, assuming there's no like checkmates or pieces hanging and stuff like that. So if I have to choose a position with compensation and opponent's king stuck in the middle at the cost of a pawn and blitz, I'll pretty much take it all the time. In this case, it looked like after this, bishop h6, kind of subpar move. I'm trying to think what could be better. Maybe rook here was needed, and then bring the bishop back, because bishop h6, queen h4, kind of looks like it traps a piece. And here we are in the game, and this game should not be competitive. I mean, black is up everything. This game should be relatively easy to convert. Okay, so f7 is hanging. Pay attention to that. Black takes this, then it will be queen takes f7. Now queen takes c6. So I imagine queen e4 will get played, but there's going to be some chances here. I think queen e4 should get queen h5. Yeah. There's going to be some chances here for sure. Definitely a some kind of subpar conversion is going on. Now I imagine here gotta play. Whoa. Queen b7, does that work? I guess. There must have been a problem with this. Because I thought initially this, but this is over. I mean, that's I don't know. I mean, there's two GMs playing. I would like to call that a pretty serious choke. A piece doesn't come more free than this. Like, this is just a pawn attacking a bishop and white letting it be taken. And then white goes on to win this position. I find that remarkable. So, oof. Tough. It happens. Some of the biggest throws you will see in Title Tuesday. The pressure is on. Naroditsky still going? No. Done. And of course I'm bad luck. I'm here to watch the L. Here's one that's spicy. What on earth is happening? I say it's spicy, but it's not spicy. It's over. So if anyone else wants a free win, just let me know and I'll go spectate the opponent. Because it's all I can do right now. I show up to the game and someone loses. Okay, Max Wamerdam, I was gonna say we're gonna check his game. He's been doing some work as a second lately, and of course he's dead lost here. So, okay, I've done my job here. Just caused him an instant loss. White needs to go like this. There we go. Checkmate. Okay, oops. Anyone else? Let's check Pranav game. Okay, Pranav is also losing. Jeez. My goodness, I can't do anything. If I spectate your game, you're in trouble. You don't want me near your games, guys. You do not want me near your games. D6, GG. And looks like the last Grandmaster playing is Raman. And, well, would you believe it? He's worse. He's not going to lose, but he is worse. Black doesn't even need to hang on to those pawns, really. He can just shuffle like that the rest of the game. But either way. Okay, that looks like it for round 3. And now that round 3 is over, I'll get another game on here. Let's check Bach against Hans Niemann. And I'll just show you guys the little bit more detailed standings. So first of all, on the with the standings, you'll see the score, obviously 3 out of 3. Beside it, you'll see the tiebreak number. So right there, and it will be different for players going down. So good amount of people, as you can see, with 3 out of 3. All the way down here to 25. And then you have the 2.5 out of 3. So it's a strong event. But the one thing about this is with 300 people, it's definitely a good turnout. But I want to say, like, this is not the biggest. People have probably played a Title Tuesday this morning, and a lot of people are resting after playing one. So I feel like we're weeding out people a lot quicker than before. So Sergio Chess, he's at the top there, highest rated, best tie breaks, Hess 3 out of 3, and we're watching Hans and Benjamin Bach. We're also 3 out of 3 right now. Okay, and let's just double check the opening, although I believe it was some sort of Jobava London, and it was. Yeah, this must be some kind of theory. Hans is thinking here. It's going into the tank. Almost a minute spent. I mean, do you... I could play A4. I don't think it's particularly impressive. A4 would just be met by A6, I think. I mean, takes in 92 is also relatively unimpressive. It seems like black is going to get this pawn back, but white's maybe not going to get that pawn back. And black could just be up a pawn here. He does go A4. I mean, I assume A6. I'm going to see what's wrong with that. I don't see anything. Takes. I'm trying here. Yeah, I don't know. And I think this is the reason Hans is so deep in the tank here, the think tank, that I don't really see a good way to deal with this either. Chicken Pants, believe me, I'd love to send the raid off and still collect, you know, the Chess.com paycheck, but they don't pay me to raid other people during the show. I'll bring that up with management, though. Definitely could maybe work that into the next contract. Yeah, so what I'm seeing here is a fantastic opening for Bach. This pawn looks like it might disappear eventually, but for the time being, black's got to be happy. He won his pawn back. Bishop c6 can be played, and yeah, like I said, maybe you'll take this pawn back, but black's gonna make you earn it, and I think black's totally comfortable out of the opening. Nothing to worry about. This bishop looks unimpressive against those two pawns, so I say advantage black here. Reminder that this is round 4 out of 11, so we got lots of chess ahead. But after round 4, we do go into that break, fair play check. So there will be a break after this game. Queen f5. I'm going to see what's happening after this move. Bishop d6, it appears. Because otherwise, there's 2 pieces attacked. Yeah, so he has to play bishop d6, I would have guessed. No, he wants f3. But queen f5, f3 isn't available. But queen f5, bishop d6 he liked. Here, instead of bishop d6, I think he wanted to just try to keep the bishop pair. Not sure about that decision. If white's going to win this game, it's probably going to be some fancy sacrifices. Because it looks like black's intending knight c5. And knight c5 looks really tough. Black takes this. Cruise control. Queen b6. Maybe bishop there, but these are the moves I'm talking about. Black goes back. There might be some queen h5 kind of stuff in the air. Yeah, okay. If black's taken here, I think clear edge. Take on b3 and maybe bishop f6 or h6. Black is crushing here. Habits. Yeah, bishop f6 and I think it's close to over. So this looks pretty one-sided, I have to say. All stemmed from that opening. I didn't really know what to do against it either. Let's take a look at someone we haven't checked yet. Bortnick, who is in an interesting position. He's got 2 pieces for the rook. And how are the pawns? They're dead even. They're very imbalanced, but they're even. This is a fun position. I actually might like white. In a weird way. Bishop a4, be very careful. Oh my goodness, what a blunder! You just gotta play rook c7 there, surely. What the heck are you doing, buddy? And Bach did win that game that we were looking at. Let's see here. That's also a win. This is gonna be a draw. Let's check on Draken. What the heck position is this? Ooh, rook b5 is a lethal move. Yeah, I think that's GG. To me, this looks like a very nice conversion. Look at how the pawn is going to cover h8. So Draken will go down here to MSB2, who I always need a reminder, but I'm pretty sure that's Blue Bomb. Matthias Blue Bomb from Germany. But don't quote me on that. Jigalko surely is going to get this win. By the way, what was that move? Black has a pawn on c2 and plays queen d6. He's gonna get that win, but you know what he might have thought? And it's important to realize this stuff. He might have thought like, you know, oh, you know, I'll take this pawn. Great. But in this position, white would then go like this. Check. And then black has to move the king, and white was gonna go check. Because you guys see the point now. If you take it, you're stalemating yourself. So maybe he intended queen takes g3 for half a second and realized, oops, that's something you got to be very careful about not to allow. Let's continue to take a look here. Christopher Yu is trying to hold knight against rook and rook f8. Oh, he needed to try rook f8. Now should have this secured. As white, I think you definitely still try to win this, but yeah, no, that didn't last very long. He didn't want any part of that position. Yeah, I think maybe rook a8 was one of the only tries there, but you have to try this. It shouldn't work. Black getting this pawn is way too much. Okay. Oh, Lafong Hua is battling. He's got 2 points. Go Lafong. He's trying to defend a king and pawn, rook endgame, and he got the 50 move rule. So they've been going at it. Damn. And it looks like this is Dimitri Colors, who's about to get a very nice win here. Same color bishops, so should be easy. And last game of the round, let's take a look at it. I wonder what the evaluation of this position is. Maybe it's a draw technically, but I would expect to win with black. Like, I don't know. Whoa, like, oh my god, who are these players? Oh! Apache, all I can say, dude, is I've been there before, man. Been there before. Oh my goodness. That feels so bad. I'm glad I didn't say what I was about to say, which is I'd expect to win this position 100% of the time. Because those mistakes happen. But F5, ugh, it's the worst move in the position. I'll tell you that. It's not over after that. Black is fine after this, but it's one of those things. Just blind spots. You're committed to your plan. That's tough. Seeing a bit of myself out there in the field. Well, we've had a lot so far. It's round 4, guys. We are going to be taking a break. Just concluded round 4. I'll just quickly flash the standings for you guys here. These are the players on 4 out of 4. Starting with Bach, Pragnananda, Bortnik. So some very strong players. Down to 3.5 though. They're still chasing. We are going to take about a 5-minute break. So stay with us, guys. And when we return, we will continue with the late edition of Title Tuesday. We'll be back with round 5 in just a sec. All right, we're back, everybody. Next round just getting underway here. Let's jump into one of the games. One of the top games with Chesscom. Jose Martinez from Peru. Let's see how he handles this position. Do a quick check on the opening here. Yes, h3. I've talked about this in my Habit series, but knight takes e4 will simply drop the knight. Okay, so we've reached this position. I think there's a few more moves. Yeah, knight a4 was played, h6, bishop h4, and now rook to e8, putting pressure on that pawn. So white has a long-term goal of maybe bishop d3, and either rook c1, knight c5, or more likely just b3, maybe knight b2, knight c4. Just clamp down on these light squares, blockade the d pawn, and maybe at some point push forward in the center. Something like e5. But that's sort of what I expect from white. Thinking more like bishop d3, b3, rook c1, these kind of things. Karu won the early Title Tuesday. You just joined. This is the late edition. Title Tuesday B. I am hosting the show here. There's 2 Title Tuesdays every Tuesday, starting now. Today is the first day that we're doing this, February 1st. So get used to that format, and especially those times, because they're going to be hosted 8 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday. Bishop f1. Might not need to, maybe even just b3 here. Rook c5 also can be played. Wouldn't be surprised to see some of those moves. Yeah, rook c5 I think is reasonable. You kick the queen back to c7, I'm expecting, and then bishop g3. I think it's pretty understandable. Also possible to just move the bishop back, but I'm thinking that the bishop no longer needs to be on h4, so bishop g3, pinning the knight only makes sense. Bishop f1, very reasonable move. I wonder though if white is considering something like queen c2. I think queen c2 feels a little risky because of knight d3 and bishop takes. The only way to avoid that seems to be moving the bishop. Bishop b5 I could play, but I don't know. Okay, he's going into this line. First of all, black doesn't have to do it. He could go g5. Rook takes e5 here is a huge threat. So black absolutely needs to react to this move. g5 is one way. Bishop d6. Wow, that definitely feels a little strange. My first instinct is takes and e5 because it disconnects the queen and bishop, hits c6, opens this bishop. Now there might be... Okay, he's going to play it pretty safe here. Rook c2. I thought e5 was interesting, but yeah, now that I look at it again, maybe rook takes, bishop takes is nothing too special. So if this knight could get to d3, I think he'd be very happy. You know, they always say in chess, the best piece to blockade a pawn, in this case, the d pawn is the pass pawn. Best piece to blockade it, meaning putting it on the square and right in front of that pawn, is the knight, and knight to d3 is just going to be perfect here. So, good execution, good technique here by Chesscom. He's playing against the 2 bishops, but the knight on d3 is going to be great. b4 is going to fix that pawn. I imagine a5 will get played. Maybe a3 in response. Watch out this rook because it needs to cover f7 and it's also watching the bishop. So let's say black played queen here. Knight takes e5 would win the game. So this queen has to watch the bishop and always be ready to capture. It's a good position for Jaspem, and I think the next move is rook there, threatening to win the game. This move is now possible. He might need to play rook e2 or rook e1. 20 seconds, though. Angry Twin has definitely done a good job with the time. Real issue, though, is this move is coming, so I think it has to be this. Now that the rook's on f8, it's either bring the rook back or put the bishop on e5, and that seems to make the most sense. Okay, so now black's probably going for a plan with g5. Doesn't want to see the move f4 happen. Not that this is a threat right now, but yeah, g5 just preemptively makes sense. This is very double-edged. Could go either way. f5 is an aggressive move, and I think that's exactly the move you want to play when your opponent has less than 10 seconds ticking down like Jaspem. And whoa! Rook b8. Almost looks like a mouse slip. He had a minute on his clock. And in this position, with all this stuff hanging, you play rook b8? That's like, it's almost like he was holding the rook in his hand and he just like accidentally clicked the b8 square. I can't explain that. Obviously, that can't be the move he was intending. Rook b8 is just ludicrous. He practically pre-moved it too. So I'm not sure what that was, but I think it was something like a mechanical error, put it that way. We haven't checked Pragnananda's games, but we see him here, and unfortunately, as I always do, I think I've cursed him here because he looks dead lost. Dead lost. That pawn should be scooped up. Yeah, these two pawns are gonna roll all the way down the board. Can't stop him. And that'll be it. Gonna probably collect both knights here, but I think it'll be resignation. There it is. So Case from Ukraine. Again, not sure who that is exactly. Still in round 5 here. Let's see, Jordan with the black pieces. Yeah, this is done. Easy win for him. We see Greg Shahadi, who, well, let's just say I showed up at the right time. However, this looks like it was over for a little while. Let's say that. Alexei Shirov. Okay, is there anyone else I can curse? By the way, every person I've checked, because when I go to a game, I'm not getting to that game by clicking on like a game between two players. I'm clicking on one player's game. So in this case, I clicked on Shirov's game and it brought me here. So every single player that I've clicked on has been losing. I don't know what it is. This is more than a commentator's curse. I've never spectated somebody's game who was just winning. Or who ended up winning the game. Okay, Pedro, thank you. Martin Kravtsov, yep. That's a strong player. Manor Monkey, are you enjoying Lafong playing Rook versus Rook endgame here on Title Tuesday? They've been playing Rook for Rook for, well, as you can see, full 50 moves. Full 50 moves. The Canadian School of Chess is coming in strong here. I think White can probably win this with some tricks. Interesting. Interesting. The king is now escaping, which I think it should. Yeah. Take it. Oh my god, what is he doing? What? Take it. He just had to take it. My goodness, I cannot explain what we've been seeing today other than it's Title Tuesday, guys. We see the best and the worst, and we're on to round 6. Let's check. There's 2 matches that I want to definitely check this round. Bach is playing Hikaru, and I also see Bortnik is playing Penguin GM1 Andrew Tang. Both of those matches look like serious ones. And in the meantime, I'll just show you guys the standings. We're going into round 6. That's what we're playing right now. But you can see the standings here. Yoppie, that's Jordan van Foreest. Up there at the top, Bortnik, Jaspem, Elhan. It's just a really, really strong and quick 3 blitz or less player online. And then Martin Kravtsov, we've just discovered his case from the Ukraine. So, very tight at the top. Hikaru on 4 out of 5, so he must have either lost or drawn twice. We're checking right now the game between Bach and Hikaru in pretty typical fashion. Black plays this move f4 and then doesn't take it back. And it might be like, what the heck's the idea with this? But really the plan with f4 and not taking it back is that you really want to use the f4 square and the f file yourself. However, if black plays knight h5 here, we're going to see f5. Definitely. Gotta be f5. Yeah. There's no doubt that this is good for white here. Got the 2 bishops, technically up a pawn. But Hikaru's going to find a way to fight. Something like knight c5, knight e6. Black gets knight e6, knight d4. Can be very happy utilizing the pin. And hey, there are going to be weak dark squares. But there is no doubt in my mind that white should be better. That's not how chess works. You don't get a better position and then get to cash out. It's not like a bet. You know, you place a bet, a sports bet, let's say right now, or let's say at the beginning of the season, you bet on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. Right now, you would have very good equity on your bet, and if you wanted, you could cash it out. Not for the full payout of the bet, but for something pretty damn good. Because they're in the Super Bowl. They haven't won it, but they're in it. So, it'd be nice in chess if you could get an advantage, like up a piece against Hikaru and say, I'll cash out. I'll cash out. I'll take 0.75 of a point. I'll cash out. But no, sadly, the feature does not exist in chess. That would be nice. I'd be cashing out all as soon as I'm playing Queen's Gambit accepted against Hikaru. I'm taking on c4 and I'm cashing out immediately. Not gonna catch me risking anything. Immediate cash out. We need to add that feature. Okay, so I mean he's gonna replace the knight on that square, and white is a little apprehensive to take because it opens up the f file, which could be a little dicey. So he really wants this to happen. That would open up white's bishop, etc., etc. And I think if there's, you know, if we reach a position where there's no serious threats for Hikaru here, then I think white just goes b4, a4, b5. I think that's a reasonable plan. Interesting. I feel like Hikaru is sort of making some progress here. Taking is now kind of an idea with e4 coming. Again, just one of those classic positions. I think white is better, but maybe queen d1. Looks like maybe queen d1 there, but how to proceed? Bishop e2, bishop g4 feels like the idea, but if white has to play f3, you're not happy. No. e4 is hanging though. Okay, well, that's not a good move to have to play. I understand why he did it, believe me. Maybe white is still okay, but that's not the one you want in the position. Okay, so I know we've got this one on the go, but I just wanted to check over with Bortnik and Tang. Looks like Tang is about to get this move f5. These guys are down to the wire. Okay, white probably gonna get, yeah, king b1, maybe a3 or c3. I think black's position is a little better, but nothing special. Let's stick with this one though. Looks like there's more fireworks, especially with this happening. Hikaru now has just a commanding position. He's up a lot of time as well. G4 looks scary. I don't know, man. It is tough. So white would have loved to play bishop e6. Loved to. Bishop e6 to f5. And remember, after bishop c4, black could have taken here and cashed in one pawn, but I'm not so sure. And I mentioned this earlier, guys. If white has nothing to do, or he sees that there's no threats, hey, do that. Do that plan. That will always be a good plan. I think Hikaru's kind of... There's just no breakthrough that I can see. It's a weird position, but... yeah, the rook's got to move. So rook g2 looks like a great move. Rook there, even king e2. Play on for white. White's got the two bishops. So without the attack, I think white's position is a bit better. Black should probably do nothing here. Or sorry, white should do nothing here, meaning let the capture happen. Ooh, things are getting all tangled up here. Black's gonna take for sure. Ooh, wow. He goes here and he's just fully going for it. Crazy. And it's gonna work too. This is over. Does he queens with check? Queens with check no matter what. It's a very impressive calculation. G3 so quickly, and it's just GG. I mean, once you see it, it's obvious, but you saw that from a mile away. And king G1, it's the same thing. Check, check, and then something like this. We'll just force mate, so beautiful. Bortnik did beat Tang in their game, by the way. Let's check out Zhigalko and Nepo. This looks like an easy win for Zhigalko. Really shouldn't have any trouble here. I think just king f3 in that position. I almost would play... Okay. Just gotta be careful not to lose his rook, but he's doing a good job. Check again. Check, and now rook d2. Yeah, he's gonna get a rook d2 after king there. I can't believe rook h3 now. Oh, I guess, yeah, it's the same idea. He's got to go rook there. Queen a3. Okay, queen e7. This should be good enough for a win. I think he's making this as difficult as possible, to be honest with you. As difficult as possible. I think he's still got it, though. He's still got it. Oof. He did it. Damn. What a struggle. Good defense by Nepo, and to be honest, it does take like a lot of time and technique to do that, so under the time pressure, I think Jigalko did reasonable there. As for this game, it's got to be a win for black. King f5 should be relatively easy. Rook d7. And push him, baby. That pawn is home free. Yeah, that pawn is off to the races, as they say. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for round 6. Why do you hear bells and chimes? Well, you guys have to understand something very important, a really important concept, is that you can't copyright chime. It's amazing. So God bless the music industry for keeping chimes free to listen to. Don't know what I'd do without them, because I love this music. She might be Dr. Lord Mayonnaise. You'd have to take it up with her. I'm definitely vibing to the chimes right now. As for this position, I always like it for white, this kingside attack stuff. However, oftentimes this bishop is over there on b7, and it is a lot better on h7. Right there, probably queen up somewhere. Now, it's the sort of thing where, let's just say black plays this move, terrible move. After this and d4, maybe d4 doesn't happen, but I'm trying to make a point that, you know, d4 is like practically resigns for black. Like, all the play is closed off here, and everything over here that's going to be white is pressuring. Jordan is an aggressive player, so this is a scary position to be in if you're Bortnik, I think. And it's got to be at some point c4, like, you know, a4 or c4, or one of those moves has got to be next for black. Brett, you think you got NFT? You know, Twitter just introduced a new, let's say, border for your avatar. So instead of your Twitter profile picture being a circle now, you can get one that's like a hexagon, I think. And if you link it, you have to, the only way you can get it shaped like that is if you link an NFT from your crypto wallet. So now there's real proof. You know, you can't go screenshot something and people will know if you actually have an NFT or not. Twitter going the distance, making the NFT holders happy. Okay, we do see this move finally. And black has been saying for the last couple of moves, like, hey, good luck, dude. I mean, you could take, but I'm not that impressed by it. There's sacks, you can go for it, but white, both sides actually playing on the queen side. This knight is like not very good at all. Bishop is dangerous from down there on h7. Probably consider taking that, honestly. This pawn wants to be taken as well. And the other thing about bishop there is rook c1, rook takes c4 is so strong. Really trying to find constructive moves for black. Maybe c3. So why isn't c3 being played? Hang on a sec. c3 forces this, and then bishop takes. Wow, h5. Yeah, I was thinking that the plan was to take that. But then maybe this finally works. I think that's the idea. I'm sure he wanted to take this. It does look very scary. Yeah, okay. Well, guys, if after h5 he's playing knight h6, believe me, he wanted to take the last turn. Listen, I'm going to answer that question for us all. If he's willing to play that move now, think what he would have done last turn. So I don't think there's any direct, crushing win or anything here. But White's just got an interesting position. He's got 2 pawns for the piece. A lot of pieces ready to join the attack. Potential of this move? I don't know. Do you want to do that? Bishop takes will be played, I think. I like queen h6. Yeah, Yoppie is Jordan. Exactly. Surely you have to capture. I mean, I guess you could play queen f4. But capturing really looks like the move. Followed by what? So isn't queen c6 incredibly strong here? I think that was missed. Because it hits the rook, it hits the knight, and it goes to trade. And he says, yeah, I don't care. I don't think this works, does it? Queen takes, bishop e5, f6. Does that work? Oh my goodness. This is a bad sign. Knight e5 is game over. I think it's resigned. Here, rook takes. Man, rook takes is working. I have a few lines I'd like to go back. This is a very fun game. This is probably one of the reasons why I think Jordan is one of the most exciting players to watch. His games are just like, I mean, rook b6, this move is gorgeous. This game is a crush. Rook h7. Okay, kind of surprised he didn't play rook h7, but the game is over. It's a stomp. Really fun tactical game. So e6. So I was initially looking at this, and I was like, oh, here. But the problem is, I think he's just taking this. And then he's going here, which is way worse. e6 is a tremendous move. f6, knight e5. Okay, checkmate in 1. You must take this. And then rook b6. And it's like, what's a guy supposed to do? Queen d5 can be played. And then I imagine, rook takes f6. It's probably good enough. Knight f7 threatened. Fun game. Lots of tactics on display here. And this is the kind of game that you're just never going to enjoy defending. That's for sure. Rook g3. Yeah. I should probably do it. g5, bishop back, and tough to play. Knight f3. Yeah, that'll do it. Banov goes down there, and Yospam's still going, but again, this one is over. Let's keep going here. Who else do we have? Oof, I'm sorry, but this knight is not going to be enough. Yeah, these games I'm looking at are all pretty one-sided. This is a draw, not because he made a mistake, but because it is a forced draw here. In the last game, he's got to promote to a knight, surely. I feel like he's trying to get a very pretty checkmate. Then he couldn't think of anything. So he just decided to mate. In any case, that was the last one of round 7. So, Hikaru and Adurjo Bava. Going to show you guys the standings once again. Jordan, after his win, is on 7 out of 7, guys. 7 out of 7. Pretty impressive start. Gobava is there, 6.5. He's playing the game we're watching right now. Yaspam also on 6.5. So those guys are undefeated. And Hikaru, I believe, did lose one game earlier, but in typical fashion is on a tear right now. 6 out of 7 with the best tiebreaks in his group. So he's looking like he definitely needs a win here to get back in this tournament. We're on round 8 right now, in the middle of round 8. And after this round, we will have another break. Earlier, a lot of you guys put your very precious Chess.com channel points on the line, voting or betting on whether you thought Hikaru would win this Title Tuesday, because he's already won the earlier one. So will he win 2 Title Tuesdays in a row is the question. I don't know what the final tally was, but I know we got some people sweating on either side here. So he's got to win this game if he wants to keep those hopes alive. And yes, there are 11 rounds in this tournament. 11 rounds, 3+1 time control. And currently on round 8, so there'll be 3 more games after this. All right, now as for this position, I mean, look how e5 gets played, and after takes, d6 is just crushing. So f5 was played by Hikaru, which just looks like a wild move. But let's say if you take knight c8, that's going to get taken back, and black might just end up with a better position, actually. Knight e4. Hikaru's playing some kind of fun, enterprising chess right now. He wants something like this. He wants to take this pawn. He's got the f5 square covered. It's going to be a very double-edged position, because white can play that way. White could play that way and just go for a nasty attack. Bishop takes e4. I think he got tricked by Hikaru, because I'm not so sure that this is good. So I think you got to continue now. Takes, and queen d4 and take it. But does rook f... Yeah, rook f5, rook takes d5. This is no good at all. Gotta be something wrong with this. Okay, I think he's going the slow way. Queen b7 and rook f5. Yeah. Something's off here. I see what white wants to do, though. Getting that bishop to f6. I think I might be overvaluing Hikaru's position. It looks really nice. You got the blockade. Okay, rook d4. I don't know about that. I was really liking bishop to f6 as an idea. Because now it feels like, let's say everything trades off on d5, then I think black's going to win in the endgame. So something feels off about this. However, it's not so easy to do, because that queen on b7, it will be pinned for the rest of the game, basically. So do you take it? Do you take it? Yeah, and next move, queen c6. And then threatening to take. That looks like the plan. Queen c6, yep. I just got this feeling that the endgame is really good for Hikaru, and as white, you kind of need to go bishop d4, bishop f6 to make some threats. Because this looks almost too simple. Trying to think here. So let's say that there's no threats in the position for either side. White has a very nice idea of h4, h5. Like that is a good idea. So that's why I think Hikaru felt the need to do something in the position with b4. He wants to get something going. So takes c3 is actually potentially pretty nasty. I get that. In this position, takes loses immediately. So it takes on d4. Yeah, that should be working. So white can't take that pawn. I mean, I feel like h4 is kind of on deck, but now that your rook's not on a d1, I think black could almost consider knight f5 as well. Knight f5, e7, knight takes e7. Gets a little dicey. He does go h4. I like the move h4. And if you take here, I mean, hello. Rook b8 check comes. This is a very double-edged position. And I feel like it's really the time that Jobava has is going to separate them, because white's position is actually shaping up. If black ever takes, you have this check. If nothing happens, h5 next is coming. Basically, white has a plan, and black needs to think of a plan. Knight f5 doesn't seem like it makes a particular threat. Knight f5, e7 might work there. Queen a4. He's definitely on the ropes here. He wants to take this pawn, but still nothing would be hanging in that position. h5 looks very strong to me. h5. If queen takes a2, takes. Oof, okay, something feels off with what he's doing. So the queen is getting involved here. Something seems wrong. Uh-oh, queen g3 is checkmate now. Queen h4 as well. This is over. Man, I wonder what the eval was there, because I thought that after queen a4, I thought h5 was very tricky. And let's say queen takes a2. There's still no threat because this is covered. So, oops. So you take here. And then if pawn takes, I think you lose immediately to this. And if knight takes, the rook's hanging, e7 is winning, everything's winning. So after this, I think Hikaru was planning to go here. But then, or actually, by the way, I don't know what Hikaru was planning. I'll be quite frank. Probably he maybe had something different than this in mind. But my point is, after h5, I see white playing rook h1 and just winning the game, basically, on the h file. So I thought he should have gone for that plan. Let's get another game on. Who have we not checked? We haven't actually checked either of these players, and that's because their game is over. Both of them were right near the top of the table. That game took a while that we just watched, so understandable that a lot of these games are finished. Getting close to the end of the round. Max is trying here with the white pieces. He's got the knight. Definitely try to win, no doubt. How do you avoid these checks? It's a little annoying. Next, if you go this way, then the rook can come to g3. This is quite clever. That is quite clever. Okay, so he's going to win the pawn, but I think I kind of expected that. It's more that yeah, it's more that this is actually technically a draw. We'll see if it ends up that way. It is the final game in progress. Oh, rook e4 was, I mean, look, I'm not saying that he's going to win it for sure, but this is just an awful pre-move. You have 21 seconds as well, so really a shame there. He didn't really put any pressure. But that is the end of round 8. You guys know what that means. There's going to be another break. We'll show you guys the standings right now as they are. Yoppie did lose, so he does not keep that perfect score. Hikaru wins and moves into the top of second place there, and Yospim leading the way with 7.5 points. So, guys, we will be right back. Another 5-minute break. Fair play check after round 8, as always, and we have the 3 final rounds of the late edition of Title Tuesday coming up. Stay where you are. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. We're getting into the final 3 rounds, 9, 10, and 11 of this Title Tuesday late edition. And the games are just getting underway, so let's get what should be the marquee matchup. Hikaru, white pieces, but less points than Jaspam. So while a draw would still be a decent result for Hikaru if he really wants the best chance of winning this event, beating the tournament leader right now, especially with the white pieces, is definitely his intention. Usually the queen ends up going to sometimes f4 in these lines. Looks like maybe a weird square, but if knight c6, queen f4 is kind of standard, this queen is relatively comfortable on d4 because knight c6 is not really that good for black. Yeah, you attack the queen, but you put your knight in the way of your own bishop like that, and the knight on c6 is a little clumsy. Like when the queen's on c7 and a rook on c1, you get a little afraid of these knight d5 kind of things. So Hikaru might be trying to take, go e4 and knight e3. Now that this has been played, I wonder if he's going to capture, but the knight on e1, like whenever you see your opponents do this in your chess games, I always say the general rule of advice is don't capture, because they clearly want to recapture. And if you don't take their piece, then their knight just looks silly on e1. So I agree with the decision by Jaspam here not to capture that bishop. Keep it simple. For those that don't know, this is called the hedgehog structure. Basically, sometimes the rook goes here, bishop back, and g6, bishop g7, h6 even. So it's possible to get a position with like 6 pawns on the 6th rank. And that's why it gets the name the hedgehog. It's like this prickly position where, if you don't bother me, I won't bother you. Just like the hedgehog. Just chilling, man. But there's some sting to it as well. b5 and d5 are the moves that black is looking to play. I mean, these are the standard ones. That's exactly why Hikaru went for this maneuver. Knight e1, knight c2, knight d3. He is clamping down on the d5 square, not allowing that to happen. Okay, just adding extra support there. I would say that if I'm black, I'm really looking at this move. Don't know if it's possible right now, and if that was my impression, I would definitely play that. I think b5 is very tempting here. I was a little surprised he didn't maybe go for it right away, but he's clearly trying to play it really slow, not looking to rush. And the other thing is, although white has a clear grip on the position, doesn't have a lot to do. Like, yeah, you can pressure the pawn on d6, but that's kind of it. Rook c2, rook d2 is an idea. But after rook to d2, while you are threatening this, you just also have to watch out for b5 when the knight's undefended. So I think this is probably looking to play knight e5, defend the d6 pawn. Knight e8. Oof. It's not a terrible move in the hedgehog. It really isn't. It's not like the end of the world, but it seemed to me like he could get knight e5 in. But I think after knight e5, he was a little bothered by f4, which is totally reasonable. Okay, so Hikaru just put the bishop there. My question is, why not b5? And yet, it looks playable. Do it. As black and the hedgehog, rule of thumb is like, if you get that move, you're pretty happy. So I totally understand that. Look, I mean, the 2 moves that I was highlighting earlier, b5 and d5, they've both happened. Now, if they both happened, I feel like you're in a pretty good mood as Jaspam here. But as usual with chess, Hikaru can take something that I think I understand and prove that it's the exact opposite. You think the new Title Tuesday was made just for me, so I don't have to get up early? I wish. However, I'm not complaining. I'm sure that of the people who appreciate the multiple title Tuesdays, I'm probably, you know, easily top 20 on that list. Very solid. I think you really can't complain as black out of the opening here. Got a super solid position. Rook d6 can always be played. b4, I don't necessarily recommend it right away, giving away the c4 square, but it's going to fix these pawns where they are. And yeah, rook there. This looks very reasonable. I mean, it's definitely not a bad position for Hikaru by any stretch. Takes with the knight, interesting. I might have decided to trade the pieces off there, and I might have been wrong in doing so, but I think that's what I would have done. Also, g6. I really like the move g6. f5 looks extremely tempting here. g6 by black, it stops f5, and it gives me an escape square, and guess what? h6 would be a little worse, because that escape square is a light square, which is the same color as the bishop. So, g6 looks like an all-around, all-star move. But that square is not permanent, and that knight is going to have to move at some point, you'd have to feel. Queen c6 maybe threatening rook c2. b4 at some point by black. I think the position's very equal, but if you're Yasmin, I think you're happy with how the game has gone. Just getting that hedgehog. Hedgehog position. Yeah, rook c2, there's going to be rook d2. I think it's most likely it just ends in a draw. Queen d2, and then something like queen a4, threatening rook a2. I think he's gonna go queen a4. Yeah, he's threatening this and this. I mean, if white takes here, it covers a2, but black takes back, and rook a2 is now a serious threat. So, looks a little concerning. And Hikaru thought it was so concerning that he decided to play this, and that's a big commitment because this position looks, I don't know how to say it, but it looks almost as close to losing as you could get in a 3 versus 4. These pawns are not ideal. That pawn should be back there. I almost thought that, I almost think black should play this and this, something like that. Okay, he let the king off the last rank. Interesting. I think Hikaru is going to get his draw then. This looks too easy. I mean, I know black has the draw by agreement. I don't know. That all happened so fast. But if you have 4 against 3 and Hikaru's king cut off, it's like the best chance you're ever going to get. Surely you got to try. Was there any chance to play king f5? Of course, it's not that easy. But this, I think, felt like this is the only try. I mean, you can go here, but the king will go there, and you know, you're not really doing too much here. You could try to win this, but I think the reality is you're just making a draw. 4 against 3 in rook endgames, guys, is almost always a draw. It really is, depending on how the pawns are. But if you're gonna have a chance to win, it kind of looked like that was the best one. Hikaru's king was cut off, and the f pawn had moved. So. This should be, no doubt, winning for white. Rook a6. Gotta move the king, and then king e5. Yeah, king e5 will be GG. Or not. King e5? Anybody? Oh. King e5. I'm looking for a king e5. Finally! There we go. That's over. King here, I imagine. Yeah, this works well also. And I think this is our last game here in round 9. It is. Okay, we're on to round 10. Very important, the penultimate round. So round 10, standings quickly before they start. Actually, they have started. So let's get who's in the running here? Okay, so Nerdiski's on 7. So Yoppie and Yospum. Yeah, we gotta stay on one of these two games. I'm gonna check out Yospum, but here you go. These are the standings, so you guys can see it. Yoppie and Yospum 8 out of 9 apiece. They sound like a like a really dangerous WWE tag team. Yoppie and Yospum. And then Hikaru. I don't know who this Grandmaster is. Maybe it's public on the profile, I'm not sure. But Nyal 28. And then Jobava, Conrad Holt, all at 7.5. And a big pack of people at 7 points. See Bortnik, Hans, Christopher Yu, Hess, Renav. Or I guess that's it at 7. Pranav is the bottom of the 7 out of 9 group. So yeah, a tight, very tight tournament here. There's only about 200 players in it right now. Aram Hakobian. Okay, thanks for the double check on the username. All right, so as for the game in front of us here, this is if I had to guess, it is a classic Karo Khan with h4. Yes. And both sides, I think, are relatively happy. I think that these generally favor white. But one thing is that knight takes h4. So, gotta take with the queen. Black would love to trade queens. I think white should play queen f4. He does. White is interested in taking. For example, if black takes, white is playing f takes g3. No question. This move would be almost losing here. You know, what are you going to do? White plays this, and he has g4 takes, g4 again, h5. Like, it's a very, very nice position to look forward to. So you can see it's all Yospum here in this game. Like, he's playing over here, maybe a rook lift to f3. He's got the space over here as well. So this game is pretty much, well, it's Yospum's to play. But sometimes as black, you just get these positions and you just play it super solid. This is nasty stuff. White is very much better here. So dominant performance here by Yospum. Let's see the technique. 2 minutes apiece. Essentially, black has, I'm going to say, nothing to do. Like, completely zero. Right? Anytime you play f6, I just have to feel that's incorrect. I mean, definitely you can play it, but no. I got to say that's probably wrong. And at some point, white will get the move g4 in. Could be now. Looks like a pretty good move. In the meantime, knight to c6, and I'll be honest, I didn't notice it until the knight was on c2. That looks crushing. That looks dominant. Black has an idea to play like knight h7, and believe me, black right now is thinking, okay, I can probably sack this exchange. Because if you don't, ugh, it is just painful. Knight c6, queen e8, ugh. This is so good for white. There's that exchange sack he's looking to do. Can't quite do it. Well, I guess, yeah, he can do it and play king c7 maybe. I think he's going to try that. Black is really just trying to block the position and say like, hey, there's no way to beat me because he's not doing anything aggressive. g4 is killer. This knight has to retreat. f7 pawn maybe looks like it's dropping if you go knight e7. So wow, I don't even know what to recommend. This is just tough. So black is definitely thinking about rook takes c6 here. Yeah, it's tough though. You can't do it now. It just doesn't work. Where is he putting that king? I wonder. Is he? There's no way he's going all the way over to a4 or anything crazy. Question is, how do you break through, right? If you ever take, black takes and he gets this square. So he's gonna leave that guy there. And he's even gonna go for a queen trade, yep. So annoying, these positions. So annoying. I'm trying to think how I would break through here. Knight b5. Okay, we gotta defend that. Queen e3, I guess. Queen e2. That's right, I forgot about Yobava. I was saying that Yoppie and Yosfun was a funny tag team, but Yobava as well. And yeah, you don't want to allow Queen a4 with the knight there. b5 is good for... That should be very good for white to have in the position. I know it kind of looks like a good move for black, but I feel like that improves white's winning chances just a bit. That's right, Defile. It is. How annoying. Surely it's gonna bring the king back. I think he's kind of thinking about this. I think as white, you can... Shouldn't you have played this? Shouldn't this be played here? Wait a minute. Why is this not being played and just bring the king back? Because that's the opening that white needs. Unless black's trying to win this game now. Well, it looks like he is. Yeah, you got it. Got to take queen h6 maybe? e4 is happening. So it's going to get double-edged. The knight is going to be very strong now. Very double-edged. Either side could win, that's for sure. Rook there. Yeah. This is falling. But the knight on c7 is still really well placed. Rook f7 is so nasty, though. I don't know how to deal with it. Bava didn't expect it, that's for sure. Okay. Having to move that knight to b5 is not good. That pawn on e6 is very tender. Rook g6, knight c7 though. Wow, what a move. What a gorgeous move. He had to play rook h1 check, but queen f5 is still a good move there. That's it. That's going to be a win, and with Yospa moving to 9 out of 10, he only needs a draw to secure a share of first place in the next round. And there's still more games to go, but I will show you guys the standings. That's how they look right now at the top. Everyone's played their game. Yospam, 9 out of 10. Jordan, 8 out of 10. So he lost his game to Nyal 28. Hikaru won 8.5 out of 10. Naroditsky's at 8 out of 10. Hans Niemann, 8 out of 10. A lot of guys coming up with 8 points out of 10. Probably that's not good enough. I think you need definitely 9 for sure. Not even close to be on the podium here. Wow, what a horrible blunder. Black could have just won this game, I think. King here. This is just a basic king and pawn endgame win. Gotta know your king and pawn endgames, how to simplify down. It helps a lot. Okay. We're going to the last round, guys. These are the standings. You see them right there. We gotta watch that all-important game at the very top here. Chesscom against Nyal28. And this is for all the marbles. So a win here for Chesscom. He definitely wins Title Tuesday. No question about it. A draw, he gets a share of first place, potentially. He could still win the event if Hikaru doesn't win. He could win outright. But if he loses, he could still podium. But Nyal28, if he wins, of course, will have 9.5, and then he will be at least getting first place. So we are going to have a podium finisher in this game, no question about it. And very likely the first place finisher as well. I'm just going to bring up Hikaru's game against Danya. Danya looks like he has a great position here. I mean, nothing outrageous, but yeah, I like Danya's position. I like the two bishops, and I really like this move, c4. So he has a good position against Hikaru. And then the other games are just people with 8 points. So Hans, Elham, for example, they're playing each other. A wild game already over here. But I'm going to pay attention to this one. Chesscom, it really looks like he's done a good job of just trading every piece off the board. And he just needs to make a draw. Is he going to be able to do it? I don't think Chesscom has any real chance to win this. And I would expect that after something like bishop takes, bishop d6, we're in like dead draw territory. I think this game is going to be a draw, guys. Hikaru and Danya is going to be a very spicy game. So based on the next couple moves here, I might need to switch the games. I know this is the first place one, but it really looks like heavy liquidation and a draw is in people's sights in this one. And you can still see the standings on the screen there while the game's on, so you can keep track. This looks like bishop d6 is a good move, but bishop takes d5. Looks very solid. I think this is just a draw. Bishop goes d6. I don't think either player is winning this. So I'll keep an eye on it myself, but I'm going to bring us over here to Hikaru and Naroditsky, because if that's a draw, then that means Hikaru can, I believe, win Title Tuesday again for the second time. Because if you guys look at the standings, check Hikaru's tiebreaks. 56. It means he's playing all the strong players. He has way better tiebreaks than anyone else in the entire tournament by far. Okay, so, and this is going to be probably rook takes, no, queen takes, allowing queen takes b2. I guess there's rook d1. Sorry, yeah, so knight c5. Takes and b3, then rook d3. So rook d6, I actually like that move a lot. Is he going to take b2? No. Okay, so rook d1, b3. If Hikaru wins this game, he's going to have 9.5 points. And if my prediction is correct about the other game being a draw, then he has a chance to win. And guys, it is a draw. To confirm, they just drew their game. So you can see 9.5 out of 11 there for Yospam. Nyal 28 with 9 out of 11. And Hikaru with a win will jump up to 9.5. And my guess is that he will have the better tie breaks. Danya, however, with a win himself, will move to 9 out of 11. And he will probably have very, very good tie breaks as well. He has some of the best tie breaks in the 8 out of 10 group. So I think if Naroditsky wins, he might be 3rd place. And if Hikaru wins, he might be getting himself 1st place. So there's a lot on the line in this particular game. First place on the line, and a big think here for Hikaru. Queen takes is no good, and he understands that in this particular position, b7 is falling, a7 is even hanging. Naroditsky's just got like a great position. Queen takes e4, queen takes e6, and at this point, Hikaru's best chance is a draw. And he's probably losing, if I'm honest. Yeah, well now he's worse for sure, but he's gonna play king f7 and fight. Yeah, because now he's just down a pawn. So Hikaru's down a pawn in a queen endgame. You know, I can't rule anything out. Hikaru comes up with a lot of magic, and there are nerves at play. But white should really not be losing this position up a pawn. Probably a3, even queen c3, c5. It's going to be tough to win for sure. No doubt about that. I don't claim that this is easy. But only white should be doing the winning. e7 hanging. And white's going to hide the king on h3 kind of nicely. Threatening to take and come back. That's a check, but I'm not sure it's recommended. Okay, we do see this e5 move. Now things are getting sloppy. b7 is going to be hanging with check in every line unless you bring the queen back. I don't know if you can avoid the checks here in a good way. Otherwise, yeah, queen there you have to try. This is really good by Danya. I have to say. Does queen f5 win? Wait, maybe you had to try g4 there? No. Amazing. Really something special. Hikaru wins down a pawn. He wins down a pawn and he wins Title Tuesday. That's what just happened. Down a pawn in a queen endgame. I don't even want to know the expletives that might be coming out of Danya's mouth right now. I would be fuming. That's insane. There's no other words to describe it. But noticing that the queen endgame transforms into a king and pawn endgame where white's extra pawn is just useless. So impressive. This is GG. Probably just winning. Wow. And there are other games on, so I will put this up right now, but everything has been decided at the top in terms of the standings. And it is going to be Hikaru Yospam and Nyal 28, as far as I can see. Super impressive, and it didn't take long. And this is why I say we're running out of things that we're impressed by, because Hikaru keeps doing them on Title Tuesday. It's like win with a perfect score, win back to back, win on the same day. It's like what else can you make the guy do? Does he have to win 2 Title Tuesdays back to back and win on the same day in both? So he wins 4 Title Tuesdays. And I mean, like, what else? What else can he do? That is super impressive. We're waiting for the final game here. These guys need their moment in the spotlight. And after that, we will get the final results. There we go. Just as I said there, Hikaru wins. And by the way, Hikaru had, these are the full standings. Hikaru had just, crushing tiebreak score. Almost 70 compared to 56 in second place. So, crushing tiebreaks. Like, if you have the same score as Hikaru, you're not beating him, that's for sure. Hikaru wins 2 Title Tuesdays. You can see the list here. Hans, past the podium, of course. We have Hans, Andrakin, Gadakamsky. You see Jobava in there. Dayak as well. Naroditsky. There is, unfortunately, I think he was 8 out of 9 and lost the last 2 games. So, disappointing finish there for Jordan. Hess, Christopher Yu, Pranav, Bach. Strong players there. And that's how it finished today, guys. That is how it finished. Pretty impressive stuff. And if you weren't here for the Hikaru game, he just won a queen and pawn endgame against Naroditsky down a pawn. And in fairness, I did reserve my judgment. I said, look, it's Title Tuesday, anything happens, there's nerves. You really shouldn't lose this position as white, but I would. I would, for sure. So, it happens. Really feels bad for Naroditsky, who is likely going to finish 3rd place there on the podium with a win, or at least a draw. He would be up there, but Hikaru, he's too good today. This was his day, and he won both Title Tuesdays, the early and the late edition. I'm your host, Aman Hambleton. Happy to be with you. And I'm over there streaming at the Chessbra channel. That's where you can find me. Twitch.tv/Chessbra. And you can usually find me on any social media at Aman Hambleton, my full name. So thanks for hanging out today, guys. That was a pretty exciting tournament with a pretty exciting finish. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Get used to this format. Once again, I will let you guys know. This Title Tuesday format here. We got 2 of them per Tuesday, and there are lots of prizes in store. 250,000 in total, and 5,000 weekly. 8 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Pacific are the times. Mark them down when you can expect these events to happen. That's to accommodate more players around the world, get more people playing, and hey, more money, more prizes, more competitions. So thanks, guys. Take care. We're going to send the raid off, but I'm out for now. Thanks for hanging out today, and we'll see you soon for more content here at chess.com. Bye, guys.